Hey everybody, this is Andy Bennett with the CSS Stew Civil War Interpretive Center here with our Civil War cooking series. The recipe I'm doing today is near and dear to my heart. Not very far from here is where I was 7 years old. I found a mini ball. I took it to my mom, found out what it was, found out Civil War soldiers camped around here, became fascinated with the Civil War. And one of the first books that I got was The Life of Johnny Reb by Wiley. In it, it describes this recipe, Confederate stew. Referencing it in other literature and time. It probably comes from the Army in Tennessee. We could try to track it down to the year 1864, probably after the Battle of Chattanooga. The Confederates listed their rations. They had fresh beef, they had potatoes, and they had flour. And so what they did was they cut up their beef, they cut up their potatoes, they put it in a pot, they boil it almost done. They take their flour, mix it with water into a flapjack, like batter consistency. They pour it in a pot, stir it around. That flour thickens up into a nice gravy. They enjoyed it as a nice and hearty meal. They described in the morning being able to cut, because the flour congeals up at night, cut out slices of this concoction with bits of potato and meat all in one slice for their breakfast. Confederate stew is probably just a variation on many other stews created north and south. It's easy enough. Soldiers have a meat ration, whatever it is, whether it's fresh pork, fresh beef, salted pork, salted beef. They have access to water. They have access to any kind of vegetable. You can do this with carrots. You can do it with turnips. You can do it with cabbage. You can do it with onion. You can do it with any kind of vegetable. And they have access to flour, hardtack, even cornmeal could be used in this. If you use cornmeal, you can end up with a polenta style dish. You could use anything, any kind of meat. If you were somewhere, we know troops enjoyed fishing. If you're near a body of water, you could fish and catch fish and make a seafood version of this recipe. If you had access to chicken, you could substitute chicken. In this, if you didn't want to mix in the flour, one of the versions I found is where they roll the flour and water up into dough balls, into dumplings, and put it in the same way. So they basically have chicken and dumplings, or beef and dumplings, or pork and dumplings with vegetables in it. It's super simple. It's one of the first recipes I tried. It's really tasty. I would suggest you try it at home. As always, I enjoy presenting these videos to you. I hope you're enjoying them, learning something. Check out our videos on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.